Hey everyone, just want to let you know this isn't clickbait. There will be an impact driver unboxing, a Porter Cable impact driver unboxing. It's just I haven't received it yet, so I wanted to begin this project right now. So I'll be using the old Makita impact driver. It's not brushless, but more on that later on. And all I'm doing is building a firewood shed or a firewood rack, whatever you want to call it, out of pressure treated wood. It's not a difficult project, but it's a good one for an impact driver and for a beginner. I'll be doing some voiceover through this in case some of you need some guidance. And other than that, it should be a pretty good project. I am putting a roof on it, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just being positioned underneath this overhang. But for all I know, the next owner may want to drag it out of here and put it someplace else. So I want to apologize for my neighbor's leaf blower, and I also want to apologize for this sad looking back of this shed right here. I'm covering up with some shiplap, as you can see. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the plywood looks like a bunch of neighborhood kids stole some plywood and started building a fort with it. So I'm going to cover that up, and it won't be done by the time this video is over, but hopefully there'll be a firewood shed right here, and hopefully you guys stick with me through the whole thing. As I just mentioned, this is a pretty easy project, but it's a good project to try out a new Porter Cable impact driver. Impact drivers are perfect for work like this, and I don't get a chance to use them that often as I'm usually building furniture and don't really need them. Right now I'm cutting the dados for the 5/4 stock that would join the 4x4 legs together. These are a little too big to handle to run across a table saw, so I'm making a series of kerfs with a circular saw, and I'll just knock out the loose material. All it's needed is a little chisel work, but not a lot. This is an outdoor wood shed, not a kitchen table, so things don't have to be that smooth. This is my old Makita, which I've had for about 10 years now. It does a pretty good job, but I couldn't answer anything in terms of durability since I don't use it a ton. I like the look of the 5/4 base better than the 2x4s, but don't think they're strong enough to hold the structure together soundly, so I'm reinforcing them with some 2x4s, and the 2x4s will give me more surface area to fasten the floor to. These frames are heavy, so get someone to help you if you don't feel like throwing your back out. I made the frames about 6 feet high, and the only reason I built it that long was so I wouldn't have to worry about bashing my head when I'm grabbing some wood to burn. As promised, I received the new impact driver in time to use it for this project. It's about the same size and weight as the Makita, but it's brushless without getting too involved in the mechanics. Impact drivers are geared for heavy framing, but the brushless design produces less friction, which increases torque, and of course battery life. It comes with 2 batteries, a bit clip, a bit, and a belt hook. Any porta cable 20 volt would work, so I used my Brad Naylor battery to get going on my project. The lithium batteries take about 75 minutes to fully charge, but I didn't keep my eye on them. Plenty of power. Those are 3-inch screws going in without a problem. Again, reinforcing the base with some 2x4s. That's me wondering why I see a 1/16 of an inch gap on the bottom edge of that end. And I found out that front rail is warped a bit. And sorry to keep you on the edge of your seats sinking that screw, but my camera battery died right there. You can see that I put some temporary braces to keep the structure square while I fasten the ends. I'll take those off when the back is put on, and not a moment too soon because I kept banging my head into them. Ran out of daylight, so the next morning I'm putting a 2x4 in the base to strengthen it and give something to screw the floor to. I'm using the same battery and have lost only 1 bar. Reinforcing the top with some 5/4. Some of you may be wondering why the shed's teetering like that. It's because I had to slide it out to work on the back. And now I'm doing that with some 3/4 inch spaced about 4 inches apart. For you beginners out there, the temptation is to drive the screw way below the surface or countersink them. Try not to do that. You never know when you'll have to back that screw out. You may have a hard time finding or getting a grip on the head after some time has passed and the wood has expanded and contracted a few times. As you can see, I skip over most of the repetitive parts of the project. That's because I respect my audience and don't want to make the video any longer than it has to be. Taking those stupid braces off finally, and I wasn't sure if I would like the placement of the light on this drill, but there's plenty of light and works really well, so it's just as good as the usual placement up by the bit. I went in to watch the game, so this is the next morning and I'm just finishing up putting the sides on. I did change the batteries out. Even if it didn't have an indicator light, you can usually tell the battery's running out of juice when the bit is having a hard time gripping the head of the screw. I decided I like the rails to be inset instead of just mounting them across the legs. Just comes down to taste, I guess. I spaced them the same as the back, 4 inches apart. Now, call me weird, but I like the look of pressure treated wood as is. I don't like it aged or painted, so under this overhang it will probably stay that way. The roof isn't necessary, but kind of like a half erased chalkboard, it looks incomplete without it, so I'm using a sheet metal one. Obviously I'm not going to leave it like that. I don't have the right screws to fasten the roof down, so for the purpose of this video it's finished though. Anyway, thanks for watching.